All right, Dan Uccello. We are here with Dan the Man. Thank you so much today for being our first guest on a PMQ Live update. I know it's insanely and ironically enough that in this troubling times where you guys are kind of having to close down some stores, you guys are busier than ever. So we'll keep it as short as you need or as long as you like. So I'm here. But we're here with Dan Uccello of Flo's Restaurant Group up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and he's going to kind of talk to us about the progression and how it kind of hit him and some of the ideas he's come up with to kind of stay afloat, help the community, help their employees, but, help their business as well. So, Dan, welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me, Brian.
All right. So, first things first, and if there are some glitches, guys, this is our first time, but we're super excited to kind of bring you these updates daily. I got people lined up through Monday, some of the big industry greats, but none greater than Dan. It's okay, Dan.
Appreciate that.
So I did want to ask you, let's just kind of, I guess, start at the beginning when it started getting real in Michigan. What was the first thing that kind of hit you, and, how did you go from there?
Yeah, so we, our governor announced on a Monday, right around noon, the noon hour, that all restaurants and bars must shut down by 3 p.m. And that was the first step. And then that was only supposed to last for 2 weeks. So we're like, okay, we can get through this. We have enough capital to get through this, and we're gonna have to lay off some employees, but we can get through this. So that was, probably the hardest thing that I've ever had to do in 10 years in business on my own is lay off our employees. I mean, our employees are the life of our restaurants, and we had to lay off close to 200 people, and that hit home. It was a very emotional day for me personally, just because I just couldn't stop thinking about how are these employees going to be able to make it through this financially, because a lot of them are counting on, especially the servers are counting on their tips every single day. They have the regulars that come in, and then our cooks. So that was an emotional day. So we get through the first week, and then on the next Monday, which was just a few days ago, our governor announces that they're extending it for 2 more weeks. So now it became from 2 weeks to a total of 4 weeks shut down. And that was tough. I received calls from our employees crying. It's just been a very emotional time for our company and our staff, but we all try to be in the best spirits possible right now to try to make the best out of this for whatever it is that could be.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, like you said, they kind of double whammied you there. It's like 2 weeks, now it's 4 weeks. Did you kind of see that coming? Were you planning for an extension in your mind? Planning for that worst case scenario?
Yeah. So me and my partner, which is my brother, we actually think that even the 4 weeks might get extended to 6 or 8 weeks. We are hoping not to, but since day one, the steps that we're taking into our business is been basically based on an 8-week shutdown. So we just didn't think that 2 weeks was realistic compared to how the severity of this. We have a ton of family in Italy that is dealing with this right now, and thankfully they're all safe, and none of them are, have the virus. But I guess we have that connection there where we're able to hear what's happening, and we just knew that 2 weeks was pretty unrealistic.
Right.
So we weren't 100% shocked when it went to 4 weeks, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it goes beyond 4 weeks.
All right. Well, so you saw the progression, and you were kind of planning. I don't want to say planning for the worst case scenario. You got to always managing the pizza team and going to these competitions. I say have plans A through E ready to go. Don't come with just one plan in mind. So kind of walk me just a quick walk through your progression of once it started hitting. What did you do first differently, and then because it kind of evolved up to pizza kits. And I know you're probably not the one who started it or invented it, but you're one of the first ones on the team that I saw doing it. And now that's across the board on all my friends, pizziolos and stuff like that. That's the thing to do because people need pizza
Yeah.
regardless. If there are zombies banging on my window right now, I still want to be, mocking them eating a slice of pepperoni. So walk me through some of the steps that you took, the first steps you did to kind of keep your business afloat.
Yeah, so we were very lucky that all of our three stores that are currently shut down for dine-in, all have offered this whole time takeout and delivery. So it's not a huge part of our business, but we've always had it, and we have a great following for it as well. So immediately we're marketing, we're taking out billboards on the highways when this happened. That we are open for takeout and delivery. The deliveries are not done in-house. They're done through a third party. It's a local third party company. The owner is a good friend of mine, and we're constantly on the phone every single day, almost every other delivery, because if I see one of his drivers picking up my food and it's not up to my standards, we're communicating back and forth on that. We've obviously pushed a lot of takeout and delivery, and that's been going really, really well. We started adding curbside services where all you have to do is just let us know on the phone. You can pay for it over the phone, and we can just bring the food out to you. The biggest thing that we started pushing as well was just we had to create some revenue streams like the pizza kits that normally we wouldn't sell. And those have just been a big part of our sales right now. It's, we're selling these things by the hundreds, and they're very affordable. They're $8 a piece, and it's a great activity with the kids because obviously the schools are closed, so a lot of families are at home, either laid off or not working or working from home. So the pizza kits have just completely blown up over here. They've become very popular, and I wouldn't be surprised if we actually keep these around even after this goes away. We have also created a revenue stream that I call Flo's Home Goods. The Flo's Home Goods is items like essential items like milk, bread, eggs, fruit, things that we have an ease to access through our vendors, but a lot of people can't access them through the grocery stores because we have a lot of people just buying out everything on the shelf. So we've gone as far as selling flour, yeast as well. So for people that are making bread at home. We're really pushing growler sales here in Michigan. Beer and wine can be sold to go. So we started selling a lot of growlers. We started pushing a lot of growler sales, a lot of wine to go, a lot of beer bottles. Obviously, we lowered the price on a lot of the beer bottle sales and the wine sales to make them a little bit more affordable for our guests. So those are some of the ways, that we have taken in a way to try to generate some sales, some extra sales, I should say.
Right. Well, I love the whole home goods thing, and I hope everybody was able to kind of see it. Now, this wasn't extra stuff. I mean, because guys, look close at the bottom, there is toilet paper there. Yes, Dan is buying up all the toilet paper in Michigan. But no, but I mean, in all seriousness, this is stuff that is basically product that you had, but now you don't have the extra business or the full business. So now you're having to you found a creative way to get this product out there, still make your money on it, and actually help. Not like make money, but you know what I mean? Just it's like I'd rather sell to somebody who can use it versus it sit here and go bad in my shop.
Yeah, no, exactly. And so that was, when you're in business, you have to look at both, how can you help the community, but also be healthy for your business as well. You have to look at both sides all the time in order to stay in business so that you can keep supporting the community. And, things like a gallon of milk, we have it, I think, priced out at $5 if anybody wants to buy a gallon of milk, which is a little bit higher than the grocery store. But our cost, a lot of people don't understand we have to go through a vendor like a Cisco. Well, a lot of gas stations or grocery stores are buying direct from like Behrman's Milk or whatever, whoever it may be. So, our cost a lot of times on those things is a little bit higher. So in order for us to even make 50 cents on it, we have to price it at that. Yeah, I mean, we've had a great return of customers buying a lot of these Flo's home goods just because they go to the grocery stores and they can't find anything. So, this is a great way to help the community as well and put food on the table.
Well, and like you said, it might be a $5 gallon of milk, but you know what? You didn't have to get up, put your shoes on, put your pants on, get in your car, go rub elbows with people who might be sick. It's again like when you go and do it's a $5 gallon of milk that you would buy at a grocery store. It's the convenience for it. So, but as you said, you're not gouging anybody. This is just how to make the bare minimum on it. So, about what would you recommend if somebody has some of these products there and they want to sell to the community without looking like a jerk? I mean, what's a good markup on cost on your basic? You're selling it at cost plus what percentage?
Yeah, so it all depends on what your cost ends up being. So what I have cost is we usually between labor and overhead we have a total of about 35% cost. So we are when you talk about keeping this stuff cold in our refrigerators, unloading it out of the boxes and putting it on the shelves. So that's labor. It ends up being about 35%. Everybody's a little bit different. So I would say, figure out what your cost is and then whatever it is that you want to profit. So our setup is not to profit on it. It's strictly to cover our cost on labor and overhead.
All right. So even that percentage is not, like you said, it's not a profit. It's just basic at cost. This is what it costs us to keep the place open, keep the people pumping out the pizzas, and here's a gallon of milk too.
Yep.
All right. Well, I was going to ask, how's have you guys helped the community? But obviously, I think that's a good one right there. Because when they order their food, they can order some pasta, like dry pasta stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Anything that they need, and we're also offering a couple more things for our community here with that delivery service that we talked about. It's called 5-Star Food Express, and they've partnered up with us, and they start offering free deliveries to our customers. So the customer doesn't have to pay a delivery fee, which is obviously a convenience to the customer and saving money. And then because there's a lot of kids that were really depending on the school lunches and how affordable they were, or maybe they were in a school lunch program where it was paid through the state, we started offering really affordable meals. So what we're doing is you can get a $3 cheese kids pizza delivered for free. If anybody is in need, all they have to do is just call us, and it's just a $3 fee on it.
Does Flo, do you guys have your own delivery staff, or is it all just through that third party?
Yeah, not at our 3 dine-in restaurants. Our takeout and delivery restaurant that we have, it's small, 1,400 square feet. That's all we do is takeout and delivery. And that one, we have our own staff. But even in times like this, we even with that location, we've had to implement things like, contactless deliveries. And taking extra precautions, how we're doing. We're disinfecting the delivery bags after every single delivery that comes back. So we're adjusting every day, and we're learning every day on what our customer needs are, where our community needs are, where our employees' needs are, because that's a big thing. We are taking zero chances for for ourselves, for our employees, for our guests, for our stores. And even if you have the sniffles, we are not allowing you to come back. We want you to get healthy. We want you to go home. And so we're taking every precaution possible to make sure that our stores are staying sanitary and that our staff can stay safe.
All right. Well, I asked how you guys have helped the community. Sounds like there's a lot going out there. You guys are just talking with you in general. I know you guys are very proud of where you're at and where you live. Has the community kind of reciprocated in any way and helped you guys by giving you more takeout business, or in any way in general?
Yeah, I mean, our takeout sales have pretty much tripled from where they were when we had dine-in open. But unfortunately, that's still not enough to pay a lot of the overhead that that we have in these big restaurants. I mean, my smallest restaurant seats 100. Then my next one above that seats 300 in the summer, and then my biggest one seats almost 400 people. So these are big stores. These are stores that are going from 5,000 square feet to 10,000 square feet. That's a lot of overhead there,
Yeah.
that is included in that.
All right. Well, I think we're about done here on my just as far as my questions. And if there's anything else that I haven't addressed, please put it out there. But the one thing I wanted to talk about, and you mentioned this early, is that um, early on you had, with so many restaurants or establishments, you had to lay off about 200 people. Now, is there a plan that you have with them? Because a lot of these people, they're going to be losing their jobs, but their jobs might not be there when this ends, or if it ends. So do you have anything that you're doing for, like, to keep employee retention? I mean, is it better to fire someone so they can get unemployment and then just hire them back, with the promise of that, or lay them off? It's one of those things, because if you lay them off, they don't get those benefits. I mean, what do you
Yeah.
guys doing?
So what we decided, and we have enough funds to get through this, is we kept most of our management team on the payroll. And then we kept a couple cooks, just enough to be able to fill some hours. So thankfully for us, my model has always been where our managers, even if it's a front of the house manager, is cross-trained in the kitchen. So our managers right now are our cooks. And we still have a couple cooks that we kept on the payroll. And the rest of them are laid off, and we gave them instructions on how to apply for unemployment. So hopefully they are doing that, and they have some income coming in. Other things that we're doing for our employees is we've been taking cash donations for all of our employees that are not currently working, to help with any of the bills, food, rent, car payments, whatever it is. We are donating 100% of our tips to our employees. So we have a tip jar at every takeout counter, and those are going in that same fund of donations, where we have a little pantry inside of our restaurants where guests can drop off any dry goods, and those can be for our employees that are in need.
Oh,
And
wow.
then, when our pantry is low, which it has already happened, we're not receiving enough dry goods donations. We're allowing them actually to shop from our restaurant's inventory for free of cost to them. So there's no cost to our employees in need as they come in and shop from our restaurant's inventory.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
and the number one thing is that we just want to make sure that our Flo's family members are not going hungry, and neither are their families. And I feel that how we react to this and how we treat our employees right now and our families, it's going to speak volumes on the character and the culture of a company. And that's why I'm urging, support local, and support, the staff members that are laid off right now. It's very important that we take care of the people that really make our business happen every single day.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best part right there, is that, like you said, you're just trying to keep. I didn't know that you were letting your employees shop at cost from your inventory. That's great.
Yeah, no, not even at cost. They're coming in and they're taking it for absolutely free. We're not charging them. So
Oh, wow. Oh, well,
yeah,
I mean, that's even better. But I really like the idea. I hadn't heard that too, of having that, the food drive bin type thing, the pantry, like you said, that customers can actually leave stuff, maybe in lieu of a tip, leave some food.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's greatly appreciated. So.
Oh, 100%. I mean, we've been able to, just this morning, I got an email and they're like, hey, so-and-so needs help with their trash bill at home. Yeah, no problem. We have the funds to pay for that.
Cool.
Last week I paid for 2 car payments, a rent payment, and a phone bill. We've been getting enough cash donations to be able to help out so many of our staff members in those that are in need.
Well, did you initiate that? Did you kind of ask or start that kind of initiative, or did customers just want to start doing it and then they
Yeah,
kind
so
of snowball?
originally I announced that we were taking cash donations, and then our managers and staff that was working, they started receiving right on the first day just a huge amount of tips. And what we did was as soon as we we started receiving all these tips, we started they started saying, hey, we should donate these to our fellow team members, and that's exactly how that started. We it was really their idea to donate their tips that they're working throughout the day.
Cool. Thank you for that. You can't tell I had to get up. I had a cat meowing at the door. Dan did a great job of stalling for me. I appreciate that, Dan.
You got it.
But so that's good. And then I got so many other like topics I want to cover, but I do have people lined up through Monday daily, guys. Times will vary because we're doing this at the convenience of these pizziolos. Because again, as I said, ironically enough, they're super busy even during this. Actually, they're busier. So I'm not trying to interfere with their day. So we do have a good lineup tomorrow. We're going to be talking with Michael LaMarca of Master Pizza in Medina, Cleveland. We'll just call it Cleveland. But he's actually just took a trip up to Washington and did a lot of lobbying on behalf of restaurants and stuff like that. So he's going to kind of give us some tips and how that went down. But I know that we're also going to probably be talking about insurance and loans and stuff like this, how to, other ways to kind of keep you guys in the black during this hard time. But Dan, I just wanted to talk to you because, like I said, a lot of times you were I hadn't seen anybody else doing the home goods, and I'm glad you brought that up because I had that all queued up. I was getting ready to ask you, but you brought it up, and it's it's a great idea right there. It's kind of one-stop shop. Get some dinner and then get some stuff that I can make later.
Yeah, absolutely. And Brian, if you don't mind, I kind of wanted to, I'm sure that a lot of pizzeria owners are listening, hopefully, and I also kind of wanted to share some of the things that maybe they could be doing to kind of survive through this. If you got a couple minutes.
Yes, yeah, please let us know. My last question was going to be any other tips or ideas. So
perfect. So this message is really for pizzeria owners and how to really survive this. First things first. Cut cost anywhere you can. We're gone as far as turning some HVAC units off. Emptying out coolers that in parts of the restaurant that are not being used and just completely unplugging them, because this is a time where every single penny matters. We're already in a penny business, and this is where every single cost matters. Mm-hmm. I encourage you that if you already haven't done so, call your banks if you have a loan. A lot of them are deferring payments up to 6 months. Even the SBA is helping out a ton. Call your food vendors, work with them. Obviously, we're set up on a 30-day payment plan with them, but you can go as a net 60, 90, I'm sure, especially with your prime vendors. Call your landlords if you're renting. Ask them to defer the rent as well. We've been very lucky so far with some of our landlords where they are deferring rent as far as 6 months, and then only asking for us to pay a tenth of that every month until it's paid off, which is great. It's helping us out a ton. One of the things that this is a little bit hard, especially if you're an owner and you have families at home, but if you can do it, in order for your business to survive, like me and my partner are currently not taking a salary home. As part of this, we're making sure that our employees that were not laid off are getting paid before we are getting paid. We've scaled back some of our hours. And then, the biggest thing is, that we're all in this together, and you're in it together with the staff that you are keeping. So, if you already don't do it, make pizzas with your employees. I think it's so important to show your staff that we're in this together. And I think it's going to speak volume, if maybe they've never seen you work in the kitchen and now they see you work in the kitchen, or maybe they already see you every day working in the kitchen with them. But Just take care of your staff and make sure that you take care of the business where they have a place to come back to. That's the most important thing, is that they need a place to come back to when this is done, and you have a place where you can still do business.
All right. Well, I think you touched on every other subject that was going to be for the rest of this series. So welcome and goodbye to the first and last PMQ Live update. No, but Dan, that's some great information, and we will talk with other people to kind of expand on some of those points that you just brought out. But for a first kind of run through, I think it was great because you kind of put it all out there for people. And the thing is a lot of these people are doing these things, but we're lucky enough to have the U.S. Pizza team to rely. We have a group where we chat, and it's been going off constantly because these guys just won't stop talking. Sometimes I need to sleep, guys. But that's what I love is I wake up and I miss 55 messages because these guys are just helping each other. And I think Brian Weevil joined us, and he says, our pizza industry may be the most giving. And he's absolutely right. And I did want to say, Dave Shannon says, "Hi, Dan. Keep on grinding, bro."
Hey, Dave. How you doing, buddy?
So I do want to, acknowledge him. So, but, I definitely appreciate your time today. Again, being our test subject in the first PMQ Live update, we want to, keep the industry appraised of what everybody's doing and, how let some of the guys who are having some success help others who maybe aren't. So,
absolutely. Thanks for having me, Brian.
Absolutely.
Good luck to everybody.
Tune in tomorrow. We're going to have Michael LaMarca on here. He's the most hated U.S. Pizza team member because we love him so much. But he's going to have some good information from Washington and what the National Restaurant Association, what they're doing on behalf or lobbying on behalf of you guys, independents and stuff like that. So, Dan, I want to thank you one more time. Keep strong and keep those ideas coming, man. And we'll probably have you back on.
Thank you, sir.
All right, guys. Thank everybody. Stay safe, keep safe, but, do your best and just make sure that people know that you love what you're doing. And, hopefully we got something to come back to when all this craziness is over, guys.
Absolutely.
Ciao.
See you later. Ciao.